Ahead on a very special Monica's Close-Ups. Monica travels with Good Morning America co-host Robin Roberts to Robin's hometown, Pass Christian, Mississippi.
You didn't know this was here?
I had been told, but I hadn't, the perfect blend of these three right here.
Some surprising answers from Robin's siblings about their famous baby sister.
She was a cute kid, and she would just sit there and she looked so cute, and everybody go, oh, aren't you a sweet little girl? And then the door would shut and she'd go,
And B103.
And coming up, Robin talks to Monica about the time she worked right here in Atlanta.
They called you Rockin' Robin.
Yeah, baby, that's right. They still, when I come in the airport, hey, Rockin' Robin, what's up?
After Monica's visit, Robin announced that she has breast cancer.
I never thought this would be something that I would face, not at my age.
Later on Close-Ups, Monica gets an update from Robin on her surgery and recovery. It's all coming up on Monica's Close-Ups with Robin Roberts in her hometown, Mississippi.
I'm Monica Pearson, and welcome to Close-Ups. I'm in Pass Christian, Mississippi for a very special show with ABC's Good Morning America co-anchor Robin Roberts. This is her hometown. Pass Christian just 2 years ago was among the Gulf Coast cities devastated by Hurricane Katrina. It is in the process of rebuilding, as you'll see in my travels with Robin. Now, this was what?
This was my high school. This was Pass Christian High School. It was the most picturesque red brick building you'd ever want to see in your life. This is where we're walking. You see the flagpole. We'd come and put the flag up in the morning. And the building running on either side, the main building in front. And what do you see?
Absolutely nothing but grass, 2 trees. There is nothing left. Pass Christian is where Robin Renee Roberts grew up after having lived around the world. Robin's late father, Lawrence Roberts, was one of the Tuskegee Airmen, the historic African-American World War II pilots. When Robin's dad retired, the family, which includes Robin's 3 siblings, made Mississippi their home.
Hey, babe, hey! See how she says that?
Yeah, that's our school.
All right, baby, 7. I'm proud of it.
Oh,
see, that is what you get in a small town. That is what.
I love that.
Those moments like that. This is the police department over there. You see the municipal court, city hall.
But these are tennis courts.
Yeah, this is bringing me back. These are the tennis courts that I grew up on here.
Oh my.
See, 1, 2, 3 courts here. Yeah, so they had to have a makeshift area because this is considered the downtown. There's the bank, another bank there, Pirates Cove, my favorite little restaurants. But yeah, this is the tennis court. This is where the dream began about Wimbledon.
Well, you finally
Right
got
here.
to Wimbledon.
Yes, as a broadcaster, so that's, I got there some kind of way, but I used to, play here and would just eat the strawberries and cream and thought, that I'd even after a match, I would curtsy, like that was the Queen's box. Oh yeah, I had a vivid imagination. I
hear the thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
when people hear that storm, does it bring about?
You see that storm coming up. Anytime you see those kind of ominous clouds blowing in, it even makes me kind of like uneasy. Cars overturned, massive destruction. Everyone has just a devastating story to tell. I firsthand witnessed the destruction of Hurricane Katrina.
It was during her reporting of the devastation caused by Hurricane Katrina, viewers got to see a more emotional side of Robin, as she, like thousands of others, worried about the safety of loved ones. For Robin, it was her mother and sister, Dorothy.
Mom's okay, sister's okay?
They're all right.
And the house?
Not so good, but it's okay. They're fine, and just so many people, so many people affected by this storm who can't get to the loved ones. I was fortunate enough to be able to get down here and see them firsthand. Normally, you know, I share these kind of moments with you, but it was too personal when I walked in that door and I saw my mom.
When the storm hit, you and I think Dorothy were hunkered down in Biloxi, and Robin wanted you two to leave. I mean, why didn't you leave?
I couldn't leave. Physically, I was unable to leave. Dorothy, as the secretary of our family, had already made arrangements for us to go to a motel in Montgomery, I think. And I told her all right, and I was going to be ready the next morning. I realized that to drive 3 hours, and then I was thinking the storm would be over.
We had water coming down in various parts of the house. At one point, Mom was taking a nap in the bed, and the girls came out and said, "Mama, there's a water coming down in Grandma's bed." And I said, "Go get a pot." And we put it at the foot of the bed while she was curled up in the middle of it.
I knew, though, that Robin would find us. That night when we went to bed, something said to me, "Robin will be here." And as I laid there on the bed, I thought I heard a helicopter. And I don't know why, but I thought Robin was in the helicopter. And shortly after that, there was a knock on the door. And Dorothy was yelling, "Who is it?" And I said, "It's Robin," even before Robin said who she was. I just knew that she would find a way to get to us. And there she was. She could only stay a few minutes, and she was off to let the world know what was happening.
We will not be forgotten. You guys are relentless. I love this.
A water heater.
A water heater. That's what you need.
Yes.
4 hours later, look what's here in her front yard.
During Katrina, I think that's when you really hit the nation's consciousness. I think you became real to people then.
Yeah, because as journalists, you don't become affected by what has happened. You're supposed to be detached. And people said they cried with me. People said that was the moment they got it. That was the moment they said, "Oh, Katrina is much worse than we thought, much worse than the pictures that were." If Robin broke down on the air like that and cried like that. And I was also crying because I was thankful I'd found my family, but I also knew people were waking up that morning not knowing about their loved ones, and I knew firsthand what that felt like because just hours before, I was feeling that same thing.
Robin has literally been hands-on about rebuilding Pass Christian, and her hometown folks are extremely grateful for her efforts. In fact, while walking through War Memorial Park, we found a bench with a plaque on it thanking Robin.
You didn't know this was here?
I had been told, but I hadn't. Oh.
Look, it's her bench.
I didn't know that. People had told me about it. They took a picture, but I'd never seen it. That is so thoughtful. That is so thoughtful. Makes you want to do more. Makes you want to do any more.
Still ahead on Monica's Close-Ups.
The message is early detection.
Robin updates Monica on her recovery from breast cancer surgery. But when we come back, Robin's brother and sisters reveal to Monica stories about Robin you've probably never heard before.
The story I like is when she got the speedboat on my birthday.
The speedboat on your birthday?
Yes, yes.
That's next on Monica's Close-Ups. Monica's Close-Ups is brought to you by the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
Welcome back to this special edition of Close-Ups. I'm in Pass Christian, Mississippi, the hometown of Good Morning America co-anchor Robin Roberts. And I'm here with her brother and sisters, starting with Miss Dorothy, who's a social worker, Butch, also known as Lawrence, who is a teacher now, used to be a stockbroker, and Sally Ann, who is a news anchor in New Orleans. What I find fascinating, 1, 2, 3, Robin is 4. She was the baby. Did you all see a difference in the way she was treated versus the way you all were raised?
There we go.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We did all the hard work, and she had all the rewards. I mean, as far as like, you know, if you think about it realistically, really, I mean, as far as like staying out late or doing anything, we had to do all the hard work. And when she came along, it was basically easy.
One thing I can say about Robin, truly responsible from a very early age, a hard worker from a very early age, focused. She went to a bowling birthday party when she was, I think, in kindergarten, and the parents were amazed at how well she could bowl her first time out. And so she decided, well, I'm going to bowl. Right. And my parents took her to bowling alleys, and when we moved to Mississippi, taking her back and forth here in supporting her. But Robin, at a very early age, was just an ideal child.
She was a cute kid. And she would just sit there, and she looked so cute, and everybody would go, oh, aren't you a sweet little girl? And then the door would shut, and she'd go, she was just a little handful.
And Dorothy also told me about another time when Robin's place in the family earned her certain privileges.
Got the speedboat on my birthday.
The speedboat on your birthday?
Yes, yes.
Explain.
I had gone off to school, William Carey College in Hattiesburg. It was my first year. And so I don't know, 17 or 18, something like that. And I came home for my birthday, and Mom had bought Robin a custom-made speedboat because we lived on the back bay. And I got a birthday cake and the tuition paid for that semester as my birthday gift. And Mom said, you know, Robin's by herself now. All of you all are gone. We need to have something to help occupy her. I said, a speedboat on my birthday? Come on, this is ridiculous. But, you know, that's what happens, so.
But you're not carrying any grudges.
Oh, no, I don't remember that, and just like it was, how many years ago? Right, but, you know, we've since made up for all that, so.
And Butch, as the senior member of the siblings, you're just that quiet person who went from being a stockbroker to a teacher, which really, your sister says, Robin says she believes was your first love.
Which one, stockbroker and teacher?
Teacher.
Well, teacher is something that, you know, it's something that it's not even a profession, it's beyond a profession. You know, profession is something you do 9 to 5. But if you're a teacher, you're really in a different mindset altogether. I mean, there's nothing more important than the youth. And tomorrow's going to be here before you know it. And you can always make money. I mean, stockbroker is really about making money, and teaching is really about changing lives. And I think, obviously, we can see what's more important.
But by your example, don't you think maybe Robin has picked up a little bit about changing lives, too?
Robin's picked up, I think, a lot from all of us. She's picked, I think, when you have a family, you can pick and choose parts of everybody that you're around. And what you really would hope is that someone's going to take the best of all that you have to offer, and Robin seems to have done that.
Let's talk about the book, you three. Okay.
Absolutely.
What did you think of it?
And I was especially happy that Robin included the grandmother's ring debacle.
Sally Ann is referring to a story Robin tells in her book. The siblings were returning home from their beloved grandmother's funeral. Sally Ann and Robin got into a fight about who should get their grandmother's ring.
There are so many families that I think could benefit from that. I think there are a lot of families that certainly have been torn apart by small things. And I've heard from people who've said, I've heard about you and how you gave up Grandmother Sally's ring, and, you know, I'm going to call my brother. Oh. And, I mean, that's what really, things that change lives, I think that her book does that.
Well, I feel blessed also. I gave a copy to the library, and I've lent it out to a couple of students, and they always come up and give me a hug. It's really been very moving, and anytime you can move and move in people's lives and affect them, it's very touching.
And I think it really is a body of work of the family and everything that she has learned, and all of her impact and our influence on each other. I think that's really how that book came about.
Okay, yeah. So what are you going to do to her?
Squeeze in here and say that I am the perfect blend of these three right here. I am the perfect blend. I have benefited from their counsel, from their love.
Next on Close-Ups, Monica talks to Robin about working in Atlanta.
They called you Rockin' Robin.
Yeah, baby, that's right. They still, when I come in the airport, hey, Rockin' Robin, what's up? Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Robin Roberts has always loved sports, not only to watch it, but to play it. She was a basketball player when there was a high school here. Little did she know that one day she would work for ESPN and several TV stations in the South, including Atlanta, before going on to being co-host of Good Morning America. She talked to me about working in Atlanta and also what the future holds.
I cannot believe it's been almost 20 years. I came here in 1988, and it was just, you know, it was big enough, but still, everyone knew each other. So the first thing that just gets me is just how it's spread out and just the size of it. But one thing that hasn't changed, as soon as I hit the airport, hey, Miss Robin, you know, everyone's just so, and then I love it.
8:07 in the morning at B103.
While she was here, Robin was the hardest working woman in Atlanta. She had not one, but two jobs. She was on V103 radio with Mike Roberts, and she covered sports and anchored at WAGA Channel 5.
I can remember seeing you running over to Channel 5, running to V103 in the morning.
I used to go to Piedmont Park and take a little nap. I'd pull my car over. I did, but before, you know, after leaving V103 and before I would start my shift over at WAGA, I would just pull over, put the seat back, you know, and just take a little cat nap.
They called you Rockin' Robin.
Yeah, baby, that's right. They still, when I come in the airport, hey, Rockin' Robin, I'm like, what's up? Yeah, I love it. I love it.
What'd you learn here that got you ready for ESPN, both in WAGA doing sports and at V103 and radio?
V103, Mike Roberts in the morning, yeah. Oh boy, people, I learned a lot about myself. I learned how to be a journalist. I learned how to write. I learned how to report. I mean, truly. I mean, the essence, my foundation was really here. And personally, too, I mean, to be in a city where you see, as I said, people of all walks, of all colors, living together, being. I'd like to look over and see a nice car and see someone who looked like me in that car and that they were achieving and that they were doing. It did a lot for my self-esteem that we all have resources, we all have something to bring to the table, and I learned that a lot by being here in the city.
Good morning to you. Welcome to Sports Center. She is Robin, I am Bob, and this is the first of two.
After Atlanta, Robin worked 16 years at ESPN. She won several Emmys and other awards. Her work at ESPN caught the attention of ABC executives who asked Robin to do some reports for Good Morning America. And in 2005, she was named co-host of the popular morning show.
It is so exciting to see the transition that you've made. I mean, do you pinch yourself?
I do. I pinch myself when I'm sitting next to Diane Sawyer every morning, somebody that I watched and admired, and now to kind of be elbows with her and holding my own with her, I do want to pinch myself. I really do.
And what about Robin's other GMA co-worker, Chris Cuomo?
He's like a big old Labrador. He'll do, get Mikey, he'll do it. He'll do anything. But it's just, it's his freshness that he brings to it, and his wide-eyed, and he is like our protector. You know, he's the one who wants to go out there and fight for the little guy. And he's just a big old puppy.
And then, of course, Sam, the baby.
Sam.
I call him the baby because he's the newest.
Oh, I love Sam Champion. He is just a good man. And boy, does he love the weather. I mean, he really wants to teach people about it.
Diane got married at 50, so you don't have, life isn't over until it's over.
Oh, because you're happily married to Pearson's, man. Now you're all like, oh, you're all the expert. Okay, I can take it. What you got? What you got, Monica? What you trying to say?
I'm just saying. Why do you think? Is it because your life is too busy? Your life is too full?
I don't. You know what?
Or you think nobody can put up with you?
I think. Don't ask what Dorothy's standing right there. I think it's a combination of it all. No, I have always felt that my life is full. My parents were married for 57 years. My mother really taught us how she put her life on hold in essence for her children, and all these things that she achieved, they all happened later in life. But bless her heart, she was determined to have her life. But to see that kind of unselfishness, and you need that. I feel you have to have that, and frankly, I don't know if I'm at that point. I think that at the time I could be. I welcome it. I welcome surprise, but I just don't know. I'm just open to whatever's going to happen.
Shortly after I spent time with Robin in Mississippi, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She underwent surgery and she's back at work. Robin joins me now from New York with an update on her recovery. You look marvelous, as Billy Crystal would say. So how are you feeling mentally?
Mentally, I am doing okay. You know, when you hear the word cancer, you know, it just really takes you back. But I'm feeling strong, and I've got to tell you, I am just buoyed by, I truly feel the good wishes, the prayers, the love, and it is really sustaining me right now.
How are you feeling spiritually?
Spiritually, my faith has never been stronger, and I am abundantly blessed. I have never for one moment said, why me, why me? Why did this happen to me? But rather, why did this happen for me? And it happened for me to learn a lesson and to share the lesson that I'm learning. I never thought this would be something that I would face, not at my age, not with my healthy background and all that. But I'm lifted, and I really feel that we all, Sally Ann said this, she said, make your mess your message. Make your mess your message. And the message is early detection, and thank goodness that I found it early. And the emails that I'm receiving, Monica, and letters and cards from people all over the world, not just all over the country, saying, bless you, I have gone to the doctor now. I found this, thankfully it was benign. I found this, it's early on, I'm going to be okay too. And to know that you could be used in that manner, the little discomfort and pain that I'm going through, knowing that it could possibly save families so much more in the end, makes it all more than worthwhile.
Robin, I'm giving you a hug long distance.
I'm hugging you right back. I'm hugging you right back.
And as I told you before your surgery, and I tell you now, as a breast cancer survivor, you and I truly can say we are bosom buddies and breast friends.
I love you, my friend, my bosom buddy. I love you. I love you for that. And thank you for showing me the way, Monica, you and others. You've been down this path before me, and you did it with grace and dignity, and you're showing me the way, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Robin, and thank you for joining me for Close-Ups. You can see more of my interviews with Robin and her family on our website, WSBTV.com.